Well, I think ultimately Brussels doesn't want to see things going the way they are because they've been incredibly confrontational for the past, well, since the protocol was first implemented on the 1st of January. We've seen the UK, for example, unilaterally extend grace periods and engage in a way that the Brussels is quite disappointed by. So in that respect, they can't see them going on the way they are. But that's really where the comparisons end, because the EU's position is firmly that the protocol is the only solution to Brexit, not just Brexit, but the fact that the UK government have chosen an ultra hard Brexit. They won't stay in the same EU regime for phytosanitary goods or anything. That it essentially means that there are many checks between GB and Northern Ireland, but the EU says it's not for moving, it's the only solution.
Tyke, the issues surrounding Northern Ireland, the Northern Ireland Protocol, were known from the beginning. We've seen them escalate over the past 7 months since it was signed. Does the Prime Minister think he can get another deal from the EU, or what is he hoping to achieve here?
Hi, Stefan. I think Boris Johnson and David Frost do think that they can get some concessions from the European Union, even if not a wholesale rewriting of the Northern Ireland Protocol, and they're continuing that Brexit negotiation practice of leaving the nuclear option of walking away on the table while they're trying to win those concessions. It is, to be fair, good negotiating practice. I think we can all agree that even during those negotiations there was a huge focus on what Irish Republican paramilitaries might do if there were a hard border introduced on the island of Ireland. Possibly, or certainly, not as much of a focus on what British loyalist paramilitaries might do with that Irish sea border. And even Boris Johnson's critics, who point out that this is an inevitable consequence of what he signed up to, might have potentially been swayed by what they heard from a leading British retailer, the boss thereof, the boss of Marks and Spencer, Archie Norman, who spoke on radio here this morning, pointing out that the customs rules as they are mean that he's occasionally having to destroy whole trucks of food, which are turned back because the customs paperwork is printed in the wrong colour print. I think both sides of the debate here agree that on many levels the Northern Ireland Protocol was a bit of a mistake, even if it was trying to make the best of a bad situation and the result of the type of hard Brexit which Boris Johnson pursued. This is Boris Johnson trying to correct those mistakes that were made, those sacrifices made to try and get a Brexit deal done on time within the deadline that his government set for itself. You know, it's often said that politics, or good politics, is sometimes the art of distraction, but that's not what we have here. We do have a spotlight being shone very brightly on the mistakes that Boris Johnson has made in the not too distant past, and now he's trying to fix them.
And Shona, will the EU accede to restarting negotiations on a new deal, or are we headed for a deadlock and further legal action from Brussels?
Well, I think the EU's position is that there isn't another solution. If there was, they would implement that. That the UK obviously knew all along that these checks were going to be implemented, because remember, the UK was a leading member of the single market and an EU member for 47 years. And we heard from the likes of Michel Barnier, over the past couple of years, saying that the checks were a prerequisite for getting the withdrawal agreement over the line. So it doesn't stand up to scrutiny that the UK didn't know what was going to be required or what would actually be the consequence of that deal. And there is a lot of concern in Brussels that the UK side is just an unreliable partner, knew the checks, knew the problems that were going to occur, but they decided that to sign off on it and then afterwards try to look for concessions and a new deal. And that won't wash. I mean, people in Brussels, diplomats and so on, the Commission, they've moved on from Brexit and they hope to move on from Brexit. And the idea of restarting a deal that has dominated the EU for 5 years, nobody has the appetite for that, Stefan.